welcome to you all. It's so beautiful to meet you in this way. Very strange, but amazing to be gathering with you here. I am Beth Borowski, and welcome to the Karma Class. That's the name of my company. And just to give you a little bit of background of me, in another lifetime, I was a Montessori preschool teacher and have had a deep love of education and yoga from pretty much since I was a teenager, and then when I began my studies. So in the last 35 years, I've really dedicated my life to working with kids, both in the educational space, but also in the yoga space. For the last 15 years, I've been teaching kids yoga across preschools and schools, and then that's evolved into me running teacher trainings, both for yoga teachers and also for school teachers. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. What I have noticed absolutely in myself and around everybody around the world is with the onslaught of COVID, there's a huge spike in mental health issues and general, I guess, general dis-ease, and a huge spike in suicides, and a lot of growing issues amongst kids. And so it felt really important for me to think about ways to offer teachers tools that start first with yourself, and then you can share with your students. Hence this self-care webinar. So I want you to be able to just really absorb yourself in what I have to offer today. So if you're a note taker, by all means take notes, but I will be recording it. You will get a recording of it, so don't feel like you need to necessarily take notes. So hopefully you've either got some tiger balm or some yummy, I've got peppermint oil and tiger balm with me, but if you don't have, that's totally fine. If you do have, you can just rub a little bit kind of in your neck area and around your temples. So just give yourself a moment to do that. And then I'll get you to lie and back. Put your feet up on a couch if you can, or up a wall. And if you're not able to do that, then just lie completely. I'm going to put on some gentle music, and we're just going to move through a very, very gentle yoga breath experience. So don't worry, it's going to be very, very gentle. You don't need to be a yogi in any way. We're not going to be doing anything crazy at all. So just bring your hands to your heart, one to your heart, one to your belly. And close your eyes. And just take a moment to tap into the earth beneath you. So you may be sitting, you may be lying, your legs may be up on the wall. It doesn't really matter. And I want to take a moment to acknowledge the indigenous peoples and the indigenous lands upon which we're gathering this afternoon. Some of us are all over the country, New South Wales, got some people from Melbourne. I know there'll be some of us joining from Perth too. So just taking a moment to honor and with deep respect the indigenous lands upon which we're gathering, and the elders past and present for their sacred wisdoms. hoping that in some small way our learnings and teachings today contribute to those wisdoms. I want to acknowledge too that this is and was and always will be Indigenous lands. What a great privilege it is to gather wherever we are on country. So for me, I want to say to you, it's such an honor and privilege to be gathering with you all from across Australia and to be sharing with you some very simple tools and treats that hopefully will give you support in building a self-care routine that you can turn to nourish yourself at any time. I also want you to know that every day should be Teacher Appreciation Day. I truly believe that, because every day you very boldly and bravely show up and hold a sacred space for your students to feel, to explore, to learn, to play, and to be seen for who they are. So I want to thank you from my heart and really acknowledge the work that you do. So if you have glasses on, please take them off and let your eyes close. And tune inwards. And I want you to take a moment before we drop in. I want you to take a moment and just think of a word, because I'll ask you after this. Think of a word that best describes your relationship with your teaching right now, as it is for you right now. And remember that word. All right, so feel the whole earth below you, supporting you. If you need something for underneath your neck, you can place a cushion or a rolled up towel. And now as you begin to breathe more mindfully, take an inhale and let it fill all the way down to your belly. And as you're inhaling, feel your belly rise. So you're filling a balloon. And then as you exhale, just let your belly fall towards your spine. So these are called belly balloon breaths. Inhale, feel your belly rise. Soften your jaw. As you exhale, feel your belly fall. And continue to do these very mindful belly breaths. And feel yourself just slipping into a quieter, calmer space. Relaxing your jaw. Your jaw is an area that carries a huge amount of tension. 3 more of these very, very deep belly breaths. Now very gently just roll your head from side to side. And slowly hug your knees into your chest. And if your legs were up the wall or you're close to a couch, then just shift your way from the couch. You need to see me. You can see me in your screen. So you're hugging your knees into your chest, you're away from your couch. You're going to place both feet on the floor, keep this distance apart. And walk your heels back towards your fingertips. And then just roll your arms away from your body so your palms face skyward. And as you inhale, fill up your lower belly and lower back. Press your lower back to the earth, and then exhale, lift your hips up into bridge. Now take another deep inhale, lift up through your chest. Tuck your tailbone under and exhale very slowly. Tucking your tailbone under, lower all the way down. And then inhale into your lower belly, lower back. Hold the breath for a moment as you press your lower back down, curl the pubic bone up. And then exhale, push up your feet and lift up into your bridge. Keep your gaze skyward. Press your feet as you inhale, lift up through your chest. Tuck your tailbone under and very slowly lower back down. All the way to neutral spine. We'll do one more of those. Deep inhale into lower belly, lower back. Hold your breath, press your lower back down, and as you exhale, curl on up into your bridge. Your eyes can be closed. Inhale, lift through the chest, cover your knees. Tuck your tailbone under as you exhale, very, very slowly, slowly down. All the way to you. Now you're going to cross your left ankle onto your lower thigh. Take your left arm and thread it through that window, and then interlace your fingers either over your right knee or under your right knee. Soften your jaw and shoulders and take a deep inhale into your lower back. And then exhale, draw your right thigh a little closer in towards your chest. And start to feel a stretch in your left hip. Now again, just check in with your jaw. Your back to the front. Take another deep inhale into your lower back. Very slow exhale, drawing your thigh towards your chest. Opening into that left. Now release your right foot to the earth. And hug your left knee into your chest. Flex your left foot. And slowly start to extend your left leg to the sky. Just to open up into your hamstring. It doesn't matter what angle your leg is at, try and get it straight. You can also straighten the right leg if that feels more comfortable for you. Flex both feet as you inhale into your hips and lower back. And exhale, draw your leg a little closer. Soft shoulders, soft jaw. And then place your left foot down. And hug your right knee into your chest. Then lay your ankle onto your lower thigh. Right hand goes through the window, interlacing. Take a deep inhale into your lower back. And as you exhale, gently draw your thigh towards your chest. You'll get that little stretch into the right hip. Another deep inhale into your lower back. And exhale, draw the thigh open into that. Now release your left leg to the floor. You can straighten it. Hug your right knee again into your chest. Straighten it towards the sky. Find any angle that works for you. Get vibrant through your feet. Activate them by drawing the toes back. Soften your shoulders as you inhale. And exhale, draw your leg just millimeters in. Stretching through the hamstrings. And bend your knees. Hug them into your chest. And now draw your knees apart towards your armpits. Send your feet up to the sky. This is called happy belly. Grab the soles of your feet from the inside or the outside. And just draw your knees a little closer in towards your armpits. And try to reach your tailbone towards the front of your room, the front of where you are. Again, I remind you to soften your shoulders and your jaw. Guide your inhale down into your hips. Soften as you exhale, reach your tailbone away from your spine. And release from there, hug your knees into your chest. And roll over to your right. And come to sit up with your legs crossed. Just letting somebody in. So sit on with your legs crossed. And take a moment just to rock from side to side. So you get a sense of where your sit bones are. You rock on your sit bones. And then you sit. So you're planting your sit bones down into the earth. Bring your right hand onto your left knee. Your left hand to your lower back for a gentle twist. Close your eyes, root down through your tailbone, root down through your pubic bone. And from those points, inhale and lift your lower belly and lower back from the ground, from those root points. Lift all the way through the crown. Now instead of turning your head to the left, simply twist from your waist and move from waist to shoulder. You don't twist with your neck. The belly is drawing to your spine. You're twisting from the waist. Let's do one more of those breaths. Inhale, get long and lengthen. And exhale, twist a little more. And then come out of that. And switch sides. As you root down, take an inhale, lengthen up from your root points. Pull the belly in as you exhale, twist. Now again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pull the belly into twist. Very, very slowly. Come on out of that. Take your left hand palm down and shift it underneath your sit bones. Your fingers are going towards your groin. I'm just going to finish with a gentle neck release. As you inhale, bring your arm up and over the top of your head, draping your fingers over your ear, and then gently let your head tilt. Now separate your back teeth. As you inhale, lift up through your chest. Exhale, glide your shoulder away from your ear. Just begin to free up the tension in your neck. So this is something that you could do with your kids in your classroom when you're feeling a little strained and stressed in your neck and shoulders. And they'll love it too. Bring your hand back over the top of your head, take an inhale. And as you exhale, help your head back up. Release your left hand, place your right underneath your fingers pointing in. Inhale, take your arm up. Great. Exhale, soften over towards the neck. Hopefully I'm mirroring you. As you inhale, lift up gently through your chest. And exhale, just soften. Feel that shoulder moving millimeters away. Now slide your hand over the top of your head to the other side as you inhale. And exhale, bring your head back up. Keep your eyes closed as you bring your hands to your heart. Lick your lips and swallow. Now do a little check-in. How are you feeling after those 10 minutes of mindful breath and movement? And I'll get you to just come into the chat and type in the words that you were feeling when I asked you at the start. Yeah, what is your relationship right now to your teaching and how you're feeling now? Just one word. So if you go into the chat, and just so I can get some words from you. And thanks, Harry. And how are you feeling before we started? So I want the word before we started and then the word for how you're feeling now would be great. I'm getting fantastic, reconnection, relaxed, peaceful, stressed. Thank you, Kylie. Harry, do you have a word before reconnection? Jane, what were you feeling before? Kirsty was feeling excited and now she's peaceful, frustrated. Nicole, a seed, and after you're feeling calm. Great. Relaxed. Gun, how were you feeling before we began? Downhearted. Great. Harry was feeling overwhelmed before. Okay, beautiful. All right, thanks for sharing those, guys. No more back pain. Yay, that sounds good. Wow, in just 10 minutes we got rid of your back pain. I like that. Amazing. All righty. Fantastic, guys. I'm going to take everybody off this view now, if I know how. and I'm going to share our screen. We tuned in, we went into our breath, we went into our body. Before we began, you were feeling, I would say, just a little bit disconnected, yeah? Some of you were stressed, some of you were frustrated, some of you were overwhelmed, all these different words that we felt. And then I guided you literally through 10 minutes of mindful breathing and some yoga, and you started to feel a lot more connected, back to balance. And that was through the magic of yoga, because yoga is all about breath, mindful movement, and mindfulness. And so as I guided you through this process that mindfully yoked your breath to your body, it helped to settle your busy mind. And I brought you back to feeling more balanced and more present, more calm. And what that means is you're now more able to be present with me and hear and absorb what this webinar is about with focus and an ability to really listen. And that's ultimately what we want for our kids as well, yeah? So let's talk about teaching and what's going on in the teaching profession. It's pretty intense, right? You have parent demands, you have admin demands, you have curriculum demands, peer pressure, right? You're continually focusing your energy on others, which leaves little time and energy to focus on yourself. And this is making self-care even more necessary for you to maintain good mental and physical health. High stress and burnout. Over 40% of teachers are reporting high stress during the school day and the school year. And around 50% of teachers are leaving the profession within the first 5 years because of burnout. And I have to say, I find that really distressing, really, really distressing, given that I know when I went into teaching many years ago, I did it because I wanted to inspire. I did it because I wanted to make a difference with kids. I certainly didn't do it for the money. And to find out now that teachers, young teachers in their early 20s are starting to burn out within the first 5 years and leave the profession, to me is really distressing. Another factor in the teaching profession is some of you will experience a lack of resources, and that depends. That can be anything from admin resources to support staff if you've got challenging kids, to tools to help you teach more effectively, to professional access to professional development. Yeah, just different kinds of resources. Is it up to you? We also have, you guys also have tremendous pressures on delivering academic expectations. So there's the NAPLAN tests, there's pressures relating to the department, parents, principals, colleagues even sometimes. So just a lot of academic expectations generally. And then the final one is the kids, and an increase in behavior challenges, an increase in stress, an increase in different kinds of spectrum disorders that you're having to deal with. So, you know, in and amongst all the wonderful things about teaching, these are some of the challenges. And that's not to mention your life outside the classroom, right? Your stresses, your family challenges, your personal challenges, and not to mention dear COVID that has kind of tormented all of us for this year. So basically we can say in a nutshell that there is quite a lot of contributing factors which will create physical and emotional and energetic disease in the teaching profession as a teacher. So I want to just explain some science to you and talk a little bit about the stress response. So of course we could spend hours, studying stress. So for the purposes of this webinar, I'm just going to give you a brief stress/relaxation response tutorial. So what we know about stress, when you are stressed, like anxious, angry, upset, scared, worried, sad, your body produces the hormones called cortisol and adrenaline. It's your body's way of attempting to protect you. And what happens is the stress response kicks in. So what happens when the stress response kicks in? Well, physiologically, it becomes a symphony of stress and distress. Your heart rate increases. Your breathing shallows. Your jaws clench. Your shoulders and upper back tighten. Your eye muscles expand, which results in an inability to focus. And the blood moves away from your brain to the bigger muscles that would, if you were threatened, help you to run from danger. So the stress response is important, right? Back in the day when we were hunter-gatherers and there was a lion about to pounce on us, all these things were really important. The cortisol and adrenaline shooting through your system were really important to get you out of the way of that lion, right? But we are now, because we're living such stressful lives, we're living in this sympathetic nervous system overdrive. This is going on too much, too often. We are getting these spikes of adrenaline and cortisol too much, too often, causing our sympathetic nervous system to go into overdrive. If there is no release for this point, this buildup of hormones, the stress becomes chronic and you can become really ill. Luckily for us, there is the stress response, but there's also a relaxation response. And the quickest way to activate and cultivate the relaxation response is by conscious breathing, slowing your breath down. Your breath is the only system in your body that you can consciously control. And when you encourage a deeper, slower breath, the relaxation response kicks in. And this is what happens pretty quickly. Your mind calms and your focus increases. Your blood pressure lowers. Your muscles soften and your body will relax. Your heart rate slows down and the hormone levels normalize. And we now call this parasympathetic nervous system engagement. You feel calmer, you feel more relaxed, and you're better able to focus. Now, the quickest way to do this is through your breath. And in our workshop at Karma Classroom, we talk about the breath as being magic. In our kids' yoga classes, when we introduce breath to the kids, we talk about this magic that lives inside of them. And we teach them breaths to calm, or we teach you to teach them in the workshop, breaths to calm and also breaths to energize. What happens is you create a toolbox of different breaths to share with your kids that I like to call go-to breaths, and that you can turn to, or they can turn to, whenever you're angry or tired or upset or ratty or anxious, or you wake up grumpy and you need to energize. You can have this plethora of either calming or energizing breaths that you can turn to. When you create longer exhales, you immediately tap into your parasympathetic nervous system and your body starts to relax. just like when I guided you into balloon belly breathing. You slowly increase the oxygen to your blood system, your bloodstream, which helped to alleviate a tired brain, tired muscles, and a stressed out nervous system. And the relaxation response kicked in. When you extend your exhale breath, you instantly begin to feel calmer. So close your eyes, just absorb this. Breathing has a direct impact on your mind, your mood, and your energy levels. Conscious breathing helps you to tune into your body's own rhythm and give yourself exactly what you need. So today I've gifted you with balloon belly breathing. Have this be the first tool in your self-care toolbox. Put your hands on your belly. Bring your middle fingers to touch. Your eyes closed. And as you inhale, feel your belly fill up like a balloon and your fingers will part. And as you exhale, pull your belly to spine and your fingers will come back together. Balloon belly breathing. So let's talk now about self-care. What is it? What does it actually mean? It's so much more than breakfast in bed or treating yourself to a day at the spa. Without taking care of yourself, you will not have the energy to support your students. Practicing self-care will be in the best interest of everyone in your classroom. It's about taking care of your health so that you're prepared to be the best teacher you can be for your students and yourself. And it's defined as any action that you use to improve your health and well-being. So according to the National Institute of Mental Health, there's 6 elements to self-care: the physical, the psychological, emotional, spiritual, social, and professional. And ideally, a healthy self-care strategy should include an activity that addresses each of these every day. And that way you can make sure that every element of your overall health and well-being is taken care of. And they don't have to be big things. They don't have to be huge, big changings of habits, right? It can be tiny little things like packing a healthy lunch instead of, going across the road to McDonald's, if that's something that you do. Or waking up slightly earlier to do 5 or 10 minutes of gentle movement or gentle breathing, or going for a walk before you start your day. So very, very, we'll talk more about options, but nothing major. You don't have to do anything major. There's a great difference between self-indulgence and self-care, right? Self-indulgent behaviors like binge watching TV or binging on junk foods or coming home and having half a bottle of wine. Yeah, those don't have lasting effects. In fact, in their short-term fixes, and they often mask the causes and the symptoms. Self-care practices are much more long-term. Yeah, they're actually changes, small changes to our behaviors that help us to thrive. So I want you to close your eyes and absorb this truth. Caring for yourself is not about being selfish and self-absorbed. Caring for yourself, that is your mental, physical, and energetic health and well-being, will ensure that you have everything you need to thrive as a teacher and as a human being. Taking care of yourself caring for your mental and physical health and well-being will ensure that you have everything you need to thrive as a teacher and as a human being. And because teaching is such a caregiving career where you're encouraged to focus so much on energy on others and give, and so little on yourself, self-care is vital for you to maintain good mental and physical health. And when you thrive, so do your students. When we thrive, the people around us thrive too. It's not just about your students, right? But as a teacher, you're with them 8 hours a day, right? When you leave your stress unchecked, it may lead to burnout. That's why it's so important as a teacher in any kind of these, as a nurse, a teacher, any of these giving professions. But self-care can turn that around. It can help you. It can prevent you from burning out. So it's not only good for you personally, it's good for everyone around you, your kids, your students, your partners, your family. Self-care can help you reach your potential in the classroom, which will ultimately help your kids reach their potential too. If there's nothing in your tank, you won't be able to give. Okay, so I just want to read you this very, very beautiful quote by Chaim Ginot, who started off as a teacher and then became a psychologist. And he says, "I've come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my personal approach that creates the climate. It is my daily mood that makes the weather." So, if you enter your day into the classroom stressed out, anxious, angry, frustrated, that's the climate that will pervade throughout the day in your classroom. It's your daily mood that makes the weather. So let's talk about some tips for a healthcare journey. Daily exercise. What do you love to do in that exercise space? There's no point in you going to gym if you can't stand gym. There's no point in you going for a walk if you prefer to run. So without a doubt, we know, science has proven it, that exercise helps not only to improve your physical health and well-being, but your mental and emotional as well. It helps us feel great. So if you can, plan at least 10 to 30 minutes a day. And if you can't do it a day, do it every second day, where you take a break, you unplug, decompress yourself by either a walk in nature, a run, a yoga class, a swim, whatever it is that you love to do. So it becomes something you look forward to, not something where you just have to tick the box. Meditation. It's a big word, it's a big ask, it's a challenge for all of us to some greater or lesser degree. Just start with 5 minutes. Download an app like Calm. Go for a mindful walk, which is one of our activities in our Karma class cards, which I'll talk to you about a little later. Just find ways to unplug and be still. And it doesn't have to be for a long time. 3 minutes, start with 5 minutes, whatever you can manage. Put on some beautiful music and just lie. That's meditating. Gratitude. Gratitude goes a long way to helping keep us full of heart, right? There are always people who have more than us, but by golly, there are so many more people that have far, far less than us. So I love to advocate gratitude lists. When you wake up, before you go to bed, or even just before you go to bed, or just when you wake up, name 3 things to yourself that you're grateful for. And this is a beautiful practice to share with your kids too. Sleep. Do you get enough sleep? Sleep helps to reduce stress, avoids depression, and it'll also sharpen your attention. Sleep benefits your overall mind and body like nothing else. When we are sleep deprived, we do not function at our optimal. I know I certainly don't, and I'm sure you've experienced it as well. So please ensure that you're getting enough sleep. Nutrition. What are you putting into your body? Having a healthy, balanced diet will help your body and mind perform at its best. And you will feel better about yourself. And again, take small steps. If you have a high processed food diet or a high sugar diet, don't try tomorrow to cut them all out at once. It won't last. Just try it slowly. You know, if you drink, I don't know, 6 cans of Coke or Diet Coke a day, can you start to reduce that and switch to mineral water? If you only eat white bread, can you choose a healthier seedy bread? You guys, you know this stuff. What about a self-care pack? Like a little pack that you can have in your bag with something like a peppermint oil or a lavender oil or a calming playlist or an inspirational saying or book of sayings that you can open up and find one to read to yourself, or something you can put on your desk. Just some, you know, some yummy snacks that are healthy, that'll kind of boost you with energy. Yeah, just you can come up with some other ideas. Start to bring some mindful activities into your life, like journaling. This is something else that I advocate for you to invite your kids to, your students to do. So just learning to recognize and process your emotions is really a really healthy self-care habit to get into. And journaling is a great way to do that. And it doesn't have to be hours of writing. It can be doodling, it can be drawing, it can be anything in this little journal of yours. And it can be you're doing it for 3 or 4 minutes just to kind of decompress and get the feelings and thoughts out. A mindful walk. Yeah, any kinds of mindful activities. A silent mindful walk, or coloring, coloring mandalas, or there's some beautiful, quite complicated coloring books for adults. So beautiful to put on some music and just do some coloring. Surrounding yourself with social support and getting rid of toxic relationships. If there are people in your life who drain you, if there are people in your life who fill you up with toxicity, let's call it, start to weed them out and surround yourself with people who see and honor you for who you are, who love you and connect with you for who you are. And if you find yourself slipping into that depressive, anxious burnout onto that track, please start to connect with people close to you daily. Make a conscious effort to reach out. It can make a huge difference. It does make a huge difference. And they may not know. They only know when you reach out. So call a friend, go for dinner, go on a date night with your partner. Yeah, get a hug. Just please reach out. Same with school. Find a tribe at school that you can connect with, that, people who share similar values in teaching, people who colleagues who share similar ideas, inspirations, and people that you don't necessarily always have to talk about school stuff at school. Just find that tribe. And then kindness to yourself. Without a sense of compassion to yourself or for yourself, you cannot practice positive self-care. If you struggle with low self-esteem, then here are some tools to build yourself up. Practice saying no to your inner critic. Raise your self-esteem by handling and replacing the voice of your inner critic. Identify and challenge negative thoughts. It's so much easier to identify an issue and then begin to change it. Take a 2-minute self-appreciation break every day. Find a patch of grass. Take a balloon belly breath. Slow down. Tell yourself 2 things that you really appreciate about yourself. Maybe even 1 thing. They don't have to be big. But just a word to reflect what you like about yourself in that moment. This will build your self-esteem. And it can really help to turn a bad mood into a better mood. Go for good enough in your life. If you're a perfectionist, can you switch to good enough? Avoid thinking about everything that you fail at and rather celebrate the things that you succeed in doing. Avoid the comparison trap. She makes better notes than me. She does better presentations than me. He does, the way he writes his tests are better than I do. Avoid that. Just focus on how far you've come and what you're good at doing. I love this idea. Dress in clothes that make you feel good about yourself. If you like color, wear color. If you like dark colors, wear dark colors. Try something new, something simple, something different. So these are just ideas. And once you've brainstormed a few self-care activities, then make time for them in your schedule and be realistic. Don't set yourself up to fail. Set yourself up to succeed. So create a plan that engages yourself in all of these elements of self-care every day. And if you find yourself lacking a specific element, then focus on it and find activities that will help you to fulfill it. It's really important. Set yourself up to succeed, guys, not to fail. So for instance, if you're feeling low on social self-care, can you make sure that you visit a friend at least once or twice a week? Or you get together with them for a walk or a drink or a tea? If you're lacking, for instance, exercise, maybe start to walk along the beach or along in your favorite park, just for 15 minutes a day, or join a yoga studio. The benefits are your stress will lower, you will prevent burnout, you will feel way better mentally and emotionally and physically. Overall, you will feel more balanced. You'll feel more motivated. You'll begin to thrive. You'll feel more inspired. Your teaching will feel more delicious. And your overall classroom will benefit. All the kids will benefit. And if your stress and burnout, please listen to this and absorb it. If your stress and burnout feel severe enough that you're not able to overcome it on your own, then please reach out. Reach out to Lifeline, reach out to a colleague at school, reach out to a doctor. Please reach out, because when mental health switches tracks and goes down that kind of fast tracking towards burnout, towards severe depression, towards severe anxiety. It gallops pretty quickly, and it can springboard really quickly. So if this sounds like you, please reach out. So now that you understand how self-care can help you reach your potential as a teacher, you may want to consider how to bring self-care techniques and tools and tips into your classrooms so that you can offer this kind of incredibly valuable information to your kids. And they can be preschool kids, and they can be primary kids, or they can be high school kids. Hopefully for me, the earlier we begin to talk about these things to kids, the younger they are, the better. And as I said at the start, you know, stress because of COVID is just kind of skyrocketed. Student stress is on the rise. Student mental health issues are escalating. Australia now has the highest suicide rate of 17 to 24-year-olds that it has in the last 10 years. So giving kids self-care tools through mindful movement, through breath, through mindfulness activities will teach them how to manage and cope with challenging situations. I like to call them tools for the classroom, gifts for life. So in our Karma Classroom workshop, we cover all of these different aspects of yoga, breath, and mindfulness. We have a deck of amazing cards, and the icons that you can see in front of you are the different icons for the categories of the cards. So in the Just Breathe category, we teach you how to bring calming breaths like balloon belly breath or energizing breaths into the day. We teach you how to bring very basic feeling strong yoga poses. We teach you how to bring poses to do at the desk for just a couple of minutes. Imagination vacations are specific guided visualizations. We call them imagination vacations because they're about taking kids on a journey to a more yummy place. And they're in the Karma Classroom cards, there are 10 different guided imagination vacations. Karma Citizen is a beautiful category that is filled with ideas for you to introduce your kids to being a good citizen in the classroom, in their community, and in the world. And so we talk about what it takes to be a good human being, what it takes to look after the environment, what it takes to look after yourself and your body, stuff like that. Mindful moments are a series of different mindful activities to do with the kids. So they range from different meditations to things like a mindful walk or mandala coloring, some beautiful ideas on bringing in mindfulness into the classroom. And then the dustbusters are, I've taken all of the hard work out for you, and I'll show you in a moment when we leave the screen. But dustbusters are a sequence of 5 different poses that you can do at the desk that you don't have to think. So I've put them in a card, and you just have to follow the card, and literally in through 2 minutes you can do some movement. When the kids have been sitting for too long, get them up, do an energizing breath, sit them down, do some dustbusters, and then you carry on with whatever it is that you're teaching. Stress busters are, I think there's 5 different stress buster activities, like a mindful massage, just beautiful different activities to release stress, bust that stress out of you. And partner poses are fun poses to do if you've got some extra time or some extra space and you want to kind of end a Friday with some fun partner poses. So they are, they come in the deck of the Karma Classroom cards, which are part of the workshop, and you can buy the cards on their own, but in the workshop, I actually teach you how to use them. And what research is showing us and this is research from across the world, that classrooms and teachers and schools that are doing this kind of work, the results are incredible. Teacher well-being rises. Academic performance amongst the kids rises. Mental health and resilience nips in the bud. Like, kids start to really take care, or firstly, they're able to recognize what's going on for them, and then they're able to use the tools to become more resilient. Social emotional development. Kids are becoming way more compassionate in their classrooms, way more empathic. They're able to speak their feelings. It's one of our mindful activities called permission to feel. They're able to actually articulate and give adjectives to how they're feeling beyond just happy, sad. Yeah. So social emotional development. Overall physical health and well-being, just giving kids the tools and understanding of their breath, as I said, and how to sit up tall, because we're living such hunched lives, hunched over our handhelds, hunched over the desk, hunched because of our backpacks, hunched over the phone. Like, we are heading for a pandemic of spinal defects, right? So giving kids tools and ways to build their physical health and well-being and to understand the importance of breath is, for me, paramount. And then the last one is your overall classroom climate and culture just improves. And, I'm busy working with a couple of schools right now where the whole school has done the training and the principal's like really on board. So everybody is doing this work every day in their classroom, every teacher. And it's just extraordinary when it becomes a school collective, as opposed to just, a lone teacher. But, obviously there are many lone teachers doing it. And so if it's just your classroom, things will change hugely. And there's huge amounts of research out there. This is not me kind of just saying it because I do say it, but I do have a lot of backup. So, and I'm more than happy to share that research with you. Here's some sharings from some students that have done the work with us and whose teachers are doing it. I like the mind connected to the body method. I think it really helps with schoolwork and focus. I love this one. Can we do mindful massage today? It makes my head stop hurting from all that thinking. That's one of our stress busters. This is from a teacher who did the training with me, and literally the next day she sent me this. Beth, I loved introducing some of your techniques to my year 1 class. They loved the visualization and cat and butterfly pose, and they didn't want to stop. They were dead quiet as well. Magical, I would say. Oh, I have to put a capital S for her surname. And another one, year 4 teacher, these simple techniques are well worth the time in the classroom and the benefits are tremendous. And this one I love. I used to get really angry, but now I know I can calm myself down if I just take a deep breath. Sometimes I need to do a few of those. Don't we all? And that's the best thing about breathing and teaching the kids about breathing, is that no one needs to know that you're doing it. And just to finish off, this beautiful quote by Meena Srinivasan. She has written a beautiful book on mindfulness in the classroom. And she says, the most important teachings we as teachers offer transcend academic skills and the acquisition of knowledge. Before teaching content, we must create a learning environment that is conducive to education. We need to create a learning environment where kids feel safe, where teachers feel less stressed, where we can really come back to ourselves so that we're able to hear, listen, feel, and communicate effectively with each other, and be creative as well, and be critical in our thinking. Like, it's so much more than just the academics. I just want to show you what the cards look like. So they come in a box like this. And you can see that those are the icons of the different categories. They come with a complete guide on how to use them. And I'll give you I'll show you a couple of those. So this is the balloon belly breathing card. So it shows you the benefits on the top, and then the back side is exactly how to do it with the kids and with yourself. These are what the yoga pose cards look like. So you can see the benefits and then how to do it. I want to show you what a dust buster looks like. So here is a dust buster for everyone I'm pulling out is not the one I want. Here's a dust buster for at the desk. So there are single at the desk poses, but here is one that teaches you to just do a sequence, a short sequence. And we're literally talking minutes, guys. I'm advocating for you guys to be doing this with your kids for minutes. 2-3 minutes is all you need. And then if you're able to do it away from the desk, like if there are any preschool teachers with us today and you've got more floor space, but I know some classrooms in primary schools have got amazing floor spaces as well. So that would be a dust buster of the yoga poses that you can just combine to reinvigorate. And then this is what a stress buster card looks like. So this is pounded out and how to do it. And it's literally just soft fist pounding out, going through your whole body. You can do this with the kids again, like 2 minutes, and it's done. So this is basically the set of cards. They're A5, they're beautifully created. That's an example of one of the journeys, the imagination vacations. And I love them. I think that they make all the difference as a resource, as a tool for you guys to use in your classrooms. So I will send you information on how to buy a pack if you're interested, or I'd love you to join our webinar on the 9th of November. It's online, it's interactive, it's fun. You get accreditation for it, 4 hours of accreditation. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. And please let me know some feedback, how you felt about this. Let me know how it can be improved, if it needs to be improved. And I just want to leave you with a quote from Deepak Chopra. Close your eyes, absorb his wisdom. Relax your jaw. He says, for everyone, well-being is a journey. The secret is committing to that journey and taking those first steps with hope and belief in yourself. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I know everyone's busy. I will send you the recording, and please take care of yourself, because you step into a classroom every day, you make enormous differences and sacrifices, and it starts with you. Look after yourself. Namaste.